Tonight's headlines are brought to you by McDonald's and Mariana's Coffee.
Tonight on the Channel 2 News, a frantic call into DPS turns into a DUI arrest, crystal meth and illegal gun possession in a late-night traffic stop. Also tonight, the winter winds are headed this way, and that means fresh trade winds and ocean sailing. And the health of our coral reefs are getting some real-time observations and action plans. And we continue our look inside Japan and some of its history with nearby Russia. Stay with us, these stories and more, next.
What's the move? Kinda wild out. Catch a groove. She said, where you going? What's the move? Kinda wild out. Catch a groove. What's the move?
And there you have it, McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich. From the makers of the world's most stolen fries. The juicy chicken sandwich from the place that offers extra napkins for a reason. The tender chicken sandwich from the creators of a sandwich phenomenon. So you won't just be biting into a chicken sandwich, you'll be biting into McDonald's new crispy, juicy, tender chicken sandwich. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Bail was set at $50,000 this morning for a man who was arrested on drug and gun charges. 35-year-old Kelvin Cabrera Sanchez appeared in Superior Court this morning. Sanchez was pulled over after DPS received a call from a female who claimed that she was being followed by a white Toyota Corolla. Police say that vehicle was speeding northbound on Beach Road. Officers caught up with the vehicle at a residential building south of San Jose Church. Police conducted a pat-down on the driver, identified as Sanchez, and say they found a glass pipe containing residue that tested positive as meth. That's not all they found. Also in his possession, a black bag with a scale, multiple mini Ziploc bags, a small bag of meth, cut-off straw, and 2 9mm bullets. Sanchez was given a field sobriety test and arrested on scene for driving under the influence of drugs. After his vehicle was towed, it was searched further by DPS, and they say they found a loaded pistol with the serial number scratched out, hidden inside of one of the vehicle's subwoofers. Sanchez was appointed the public defender and has been scheduled to next appear in court for a preliminary hearing on November the 13th. Probable cause was found this morning on gun charges filed against a local man. 34-year-old James Francisco Camacho was back in court this morning for a preliminary hearing after he was initially pulled over because his license plate was not visible. The officer reported that Camacho was able to present his driver's license but was unable to produce the vehicle registration or proof of insurance. Also noted was the VIN number was blacked out. The officer says that he performed a canine sweep of the vehicle, and when he did, that the canine unit indicated the presence of the odor of narcotics. Due to the traffic violations and canine alert, Camacho was released from the scene while his vehicle was impounded. Police say that when his vehicle was searched, they found 2 pistols, one of which was loaded and chambered in a center console, 2 magazines, and over 300 extra bullets for various weapons. In addition to this, police say they found a police radio that belongs to DPS and a glass pipe that tested positive for methamphetamine. Camacho is currently in custody. The NMI's coral reefs could be a little safer now that MENA's Tassie Watch Rangers have been trained on how to report on coral health. The Eyes on the Reef program is a network that was created to engage community members to monitor and report possible issues with coral reefs. This is Ellie Perez, the NOAA Coral Fellow for Saipan, who led an Eyes on the Reef training this morning. She explains more about the program.
It's citizen science. So citizen science is basically science for everyone. It allows anyone to be able to go out and do scientific research that hopefully advances science in a field that they feel passionate about. So in the case of Eyes of the Reef, they're advancing science in coral reef monitoring. And also what's really cool about Eyes of the Reef is that it can make a huge database of all these reports. So it really is like a long-term monitoring that can be really, really helpful for management and for scientific purposes.
The program works like this. Volunteers in the Eyes on the Reef network are first trained to understand potential threats to coral health. Then, should they see any issues, they report them through the Eyes on the Reef app. Environmental and conservation experts are then able to monitor these reports and use them to track coral health and respond to any potential threats. Those who took part in the training were informed about coral disease and coral abnormalities. An added focus was put on coral bleaching. Perez explains more.
Coral has a symbiotic relationship with an algae called zooxanthellae. Symbiotic relationship means that they both benefit one another. When stressful conditions happen, such as it's really hot or maybe there's a lot of sediment in the water, corals will actually expel the algae from their tissue because the algae does live within their tissue. So once the algae leaves the tissue, the coral actually turns white because the algae is what gave the coral that color. Without the algae, the coral tissue is actually just transparent. So a coral's not dead when it's bleached, but it is very vulnerable. It can't make enough food for itself, and if conditions don't go back to normal, they will die.
In addition to this, crown of thorns sea stars, or COTS, were also a topic of discussion. These are photos of the reefs at Bird Island. The white areas are voids where COTS have eaten the coral. While COTS are a natural part of the CNMI's reef ecosystem, large concentrations of them can be harmful to the reefs. The Tassie Watch Rangers were given a lesson in how to monitor and report on COTS using these photos.
Crown of thorns, it is a native species, so it's supposed to be here. It's not invasive, but they do become a problem when they have these outbreaks. They can have like large aggregations of COTS can decimate an entire reef pretty quickly. So basically, if you have things like bleaching events where a reef is working really hard to recover from that event, one outbreak of COTS can like fully set that reef back to ground zero where it started at the beginning of the bleaching event. It also can be really bad in terms of coral restoration. It's something that the CNMI has really been putting emphasis on as of recently is coral restoration, and these COTS outbreaks can just, it could come in and just ruin everything that the coral restoration community has done in the last few years.
The Eyes on the Reef training was done first with MENA's Tassie Watch Rangers. Perez says that she is preparing to bring the training to the broader public in the future.
Really, anyone can do Eyes of the Reef, but for the purposes of these trainings, we're kind of mainly trying to get the public because other scientists probably already know all this stuff that we would teach them. So yeah, these trainings are kind of aimed more for the general public. Anyone that, I like coral, I like to go swimming, I can help out. Because there's a lot of people out there, dive shops, people who go fishing, who are always out on the reef, who could easily, let us know if they see something wrong.
Perez says that she wants the program to foster good ocean stewardship.
That's kind of another thing about Eyes of the Reef is just creating ocean stewards. and creating a place where ocean stewards can like come together and be ocean stewards together. Because there's a lot of people on this island that love the ocean and want to do something to help, but it's hard to find a place to get those people together, you know, because sometimes they may not find each other. You have like people working in the dive industry, people who just want to dive for fun, people who like to fish, people who do this and that, and everyone's kind of all over the place. So I really hope that Eyes of the Reef can be a place where you know, ocean lovers can come together and you know, do something.
Fast, fun, and easy. That's how your home Wi-Fi should be. So start with an internet plan that fits your budget. Introducing your home Wi-Fi starter pack, also known as WISP. Enjoy up to 25 megabits per second for as low as $35 a month, plus a free router with your wireless subscription. That's hours of movies, games, social media, and more endless fun. Get your Wi-Fi starter pack today only at Docomo Pacific. Better together. Additional conditions may apply.
Get your goods here with care and attention with Micronesia Air Cargo Services. MAX is all about connections. Daily flights to and from Guam, 4 times a week to Rota, and bi-weekly flights to Tinian. We are connecting the Marianas. Perishable goods, Home Depot furniture and appliances, even live animals, operating since 2013. Check out our Thursday special to Rota from Guam and Saipan. Call Max at 670-288-6227. If it fits, we'll take it.
One of the best addresses in Saipan has office space available now, right in the heart of things. The Marianas Business Plaza offers reasonable rates and can help build to suit your needs. You'll love the central location, just 15 minutes from the airport and 10 minutes from Garapan. Ample and covered parking keeps your vehicle close and protected. 2 restaurants for easy access, lunch, dinner and business meetings. Building security and 24-hour access to your office. Backup generators, so you can run your business in all weather. And 3 elevators mean easy and convenient access. It's the address in Saipan, the Marianas Business Plaza.
.500 Sail's mission is to revive, promote, and preserve the maritime cultural traditions of the Mariana Islands. They aim to do this through community engagement in canoe culture and activities. This is Andrew Roberto, a volunteer with 500 Sails. He shares some of the history of the group.
This organization was founded by Peter and Emma Perez. They founded this organization so that they could revive the maritime tradition of the Marianas, because colonialization tried to put an end to that, but they did not, right? Colonialization wasn't able to fully stamp it out. Sometime in the 1700s, there was this man called George Anson. He was an admiral in the British Navy, sailing around the world, harassing the Spanish assets where they were. And he came to the Marianas, and when he came here, he was familiar with the seafaring tradition. He was familiar with the boats, the flying proas, and he was able to see one of the last flying proas that there was in existence.
Roberto says that the founders of 500 Sails did their best to ensure that the canoes were as authentic as possible.
These boats are as authentic as they come because Peter and Emma did their research. They went back into the historical record and they got that drawing, that Anson drawing. Just to backtrack a little bit, when George Anson was here, he was able to capture one of the last boats. They remembered how awesome they were, how quickly they sailed, how they mesmerized every European who visited the Marianas. So when that Anson crew was here, they took that boat, they measured it, they took it apart. Later on, they went back to Europe, they made a blueprint. Peter Perez used that blueprint. It's absolutely a Chamorro canoe. It's as authentic as it gets, and I'm just very blessed that this organization exists to let me and my kids take part in sailing.
Every Saturday, the group invites people to set sail from Gumasakman Beach on one of these flying proas, completely for free. I, along with my new friend Don Manibusan, took part in one of these Saturday sails. This was both mine and Don's first time sailing. He shared what his favorite part of the experience was.
Just be out there and one with nature, where how you can feel the wind hit against your skin, you hear the water splashing against you, giving you a bit of that refreshment, and just to look back on the island and think to yourself, like, back in our ancestral days, our bloodlines, this is what they did for a living, and just to be one with that.
On November 18th, 500 Sails will be launching a new boat. There will be a Chamorro launching ceremony where the canoe will be blessed as it hits the water for the first time. This is June Coleman, Director of Sailing and Seamanship for 500 Sails.
Throughout all our Pacific Island cultures, the launching of a canoe is always a celebration of sorts for the community to come together and welcome the canoe into the waters as it becomes a home at sea, or kind of a way to travel on the ocean for fishing or visiting friends or whatever you need to do out there in the ocean. The canoe becomes your home.
Trey Youngdahl for the Channel 2 News.
We continue our Explore Japan series. From the giant crabs of the Hakodate Fish Market, we head north by train up to the very top of Japan. Wakkanai is here on the northern tip, just 20 miles or so from Russia's Sakhalin Island, once an important source of tourists for Saipan. Hokkaido could have become Russian territory. In the closing days of World War II, Soviet Union declared war on Japan and prepared to invade Hokkaido. U.S. President Harry Truman was willing to accept the Soviet annexation of Sakhalin and the Kuril Islands, but he opposed Soviet occupation of Hokkaido and helped thwart the Russian expansion plans. Post-World War II, Wakkanai was used by the U.S. Air Force, and it was here that former CNMI-based attorney Bill Fitzgerald was stationed. His assignment to surreptitiously listen to Russian communications. The antennas and receivers at Wakkanai could monitor all kinds of military and civilian communications for analysis. It was the Cold War, and this continued through the 80s. Here on Saipan, the Air Force constructed Pakbar 3 in Asmatuas to monitor Russian activity. In September of 1983, Korean Airlines Flight 007 was shot down by a Soviet missile on a flight to Seoul from Alaska. Close to 300 died. The Soviets initially denied knowledge of the incident, but recordings taken from Wakkanai were released by President Reagan to the UN Security Council to prove the U.S.'s claims. Today, Wakkanai has a population of just over 30,000 people. There's no longer a U.S. air base here, as new technology has taken over many of the listening capabilities. Japan-Russian relations remain frosty. There's a large population of Nihonjika deer throughout the town, and they seem comfortable navigating the streets and traffic in search for a bite, both at night and early morning. This guy obviously has a bit of an itch. Ferry service connects Wakkanai daily with Rishiri Island, located about 2 hours off of the coast. The ferries are sizable and can transport cars and trucks and cost about $20 each way for a trip out to the islands. You can lounge or sit or even sleep depending on the class of service. Inside or outside, you can choose. As we pull up to the dock, the trucks and cars are efficiently offloaded. Rishiri is a little bit bigger than Saipan and is sort of a big circle. Saipan's about 45 square miles and Rishiri is about 70. Island has a volcanic peak in the middle. Only about 5,000 people live here. Main industries here are tourism and fishing. Most tourists come in the summer and not many come during the long winter. There's only a handful of us on the ferry today, and I share a rental car with a couple I meet, and we are off and exploring. Coastal stops include places to buy crab and fresh uni. The peak here rises up close to 6,000 feet. Ota Tomori Pond is a beautiful spot in the southern part of the island. The view of the pond with Mount Rishiri as a backdrop is, well, what's a good adjective here? Splendid will do. There's a nice walkway that runs around the pond, and the fall colors drape the peak of Mount Rishiri in a postcard, perfect picture sort of way. Snow will be here shortly. This is dried konbu, or sea kelp, which is eaten throughout Asia and is one of the big industries here. These pieces are used as stock for Japanese broths. And these are radishes hanging out in the afternoon sun. For a good look at the harbor below, there's a short climb where you can see the harbor and surrounding areas.
And that's Hokkaido over there?
Yes, Hokkaido, Wakana.
Okay.
And Raven Island.
That's Raeboon over there.
Yes.
As we leave Rishiri, we get a full moon view of the Sea of Japan and the return to Wakanai. In our next segment, we go looking for penguins and the tallest peak in Hokkaido, which is full of hot air. Chris Nelson for the Channel 2 News. At one of Saipan's beaches, this mother lays about 100 eggs under the cover of darkness. She hides her nest as best she can and then slowly makes her way back to the ocean. The eggs hatch and the babies head for the sea, where they will face a daily dose of danger. Just 1 in 1,000 will make it to adulthood. Those that do will one day lay their own eggs. Sea turtles are protected under CNMI law. If you see one that is stranded or if you see illegal activity, call the hotline at 287-8537. Premium office space available now at the Hermosa Vista Business Park on Capitol Hill. Upgrade your work-life balance and enjoy a distinctive blend of location and nature with open spaces and ocean views. It's the perfect place for creative professionals who want real results. Call us at 670-483-4750 or email hvsaipan@gmail.com.
Hi, I'm Dre, one of the personal trainers here at Goat's Gym, and today we're going to go over the kettlebell deadlift. Fantastic exercise to build overall strength, particularly in the legs and hips. Remember, we want to make sure that our setup is in good position. If you set up in a bad position, it's not going to look good and it's certainly not going to feel good. So a common error setup is obviously a rounded upper back. 2 simple ways of correcting that. All I'm gonna have Vince do here is extend his arms up here, and all he's gonna do is think about reaching long and pushing his hips back. Reach long and push your hips back. So as you can see, he's already in good position. Now all he's gonna do is grab that kettlebell. He's got tension in his legs and in his back. All he's gonna do is just stand up tall, finish with his glutes.
Buenas sports fans.
Softball action over the weekend pinned IP&E against Megabyte. The off-and-on rain didn't stop the game, and Megabyte went on to take their 7th-year Crime Stoppers tournament win in a row.
7, baby, 7 in a row. We'll try next year again. Then, thanks to my uncle that he called me that he wants me to take over for this team because he's kind of busy today. Thank you, Uncle Mark, and thank you, Uncle Lynn, for giving it to me.
This is what Megabyte coach Casper Lazama had to say after the game.
I just tell the boys, select the boys who wants to play with us. Either good, they're good, or not that really good. It's okay with me. We're just here to have fun.
Hey, golfers, come north and practice your game at the Marianas Driving Range. New Year's local specials. 10-piece coupon books available for just $60. That's a $10 savings. Want to get really good? Come work on your swing every day for just $99 per month. It's our practice pass and you're going to love it. Grab your passes and go straight to the range. You can social distance and chip all at the same time, and the views are free. Reserve now at marianastrekking.com. You can pay online, open 7 days a week.
Taking a look at our weather tonight, partly cloudy with isolated showers. We'll be seeing east winds 10 to 15 miles per hour with lows around 79 and a 20% chance of showers. Tuesday and Tuesday night, partly cloudy with isolated showers. Highs around 86, lows near 78, and a 20% chance of showers. Wednesday and Wednesday night, partly cloudy with isolated showers. Highs around 86, lows around 79, east winds 15 to 20 miles per hour, and a 20% chance of showers. Low tide this evening will be 1.3 feet at 10:38 p.m. before going up to 1.4 feet at 1:38 a.m. tomorrow morning. Low tide tomorrow morning will be 0.5 feet at 9:07 a.m. before going up to 2 feet at 4:46 p.m. tomorrow evening.